Hi, we're the Silver Welch Collective at Compass. I'm Taylor.
I'm James, and today we're going to talk about the importance of home inspections. So, very first question, Taylor, is do I need a home inspection when buying a house?
Yes, we strongly suggest that you do a full home inspection when you're purchasing a home. I know in this market, you see it on the news, people are waiving their home inspections to get a property. We don't advise that. There's other ways that you can go about it, from shortening the inspection period,
Right.
putting a little more in escrow. There's other options that you can use instead of totally waiving a home inspection, because it's a huge purchase and you never know what you're getting into. There can be so many hidden things that you can't see at a property. So
The only way I would say maybe you waive it is if you are a general contractor or you're a home inspector yourself, and essentially you take the time before even writing the offer to do the inspection stuff at that point. So you're still taking the time to do it, it's just you're not building it in as a contingency.
Right.
For a general buyer though, that's not exactly the easy or best avenue to go.
Right. So whenever it comes to inspections, what are the inspections that I need to do?
So the one that is a non-negotiable, because you can't get homeowners insurance without it, is a 4-point inspection. The 4-point looks at the roof, AC, electrical, and plumbing. And there's basically different criteria, and it's mainly kind of a safety check on a lot of it to make sure there's no hazards within the house, and the roof hasn't got a leak, and the plumbing doesn't leak, and there's no electrical issues, all of that sort of thing. So the 4-point is what you have to get for homeowners insurance. Aside from that, obviously a full home inspection is generally advised anyway, where it takes it a step beyond those 4 things that we previously listed, looks at every other aspect of the home as well. So it's kind of your 150-point car inspection equivalent to give an overview as to everything that's going on. In addition to that, there's some other ones as well. A wind mitigation report, which you need for insurance to get credits. Also, in Florida, we do have termites and other WDOs, which is wood destroying organisms. So worth getting that report done. And then you can even take it a step further if needed and get structural engineer reports and also sewer line scoped and that sort of thing if the house warrants it.
Right. And it really depends on the type of property, where it's located, the year it was built. That's where you have to lean on your agent to kind of help guide you with those things. Lots of different options, the sewer scope, seawall,
Yeah.
various inspections.
And pool.
And a pool, yeah, absolutely. Right, James?
Yeah.
James should have done a pool inspection on his house.
Let's not go there. Let me ask you, Taylor, why do you need a wind mitigation report though?
So your wind mitigation is basically going to give you your discounts. So you don't need to do one, but typically whenever you're getting your 4-point, most inspectors will do, your 4-point for $75 or $100, and they'll add the wind mit for $25 or $50. You're going to save that alone on your homeowner's insurance by having the wind mitigation. That's basically, are there hurricane straps on the roof? What's the rating of the windows? So whenever it comes to kind of the storm level of things,
Right.
That's where you get those discounts with your wind mit.
Yeah, how watertight and windtight the house essentially is.
Exactly. How do you find a home inspector? How's that process look like for a buyer?
There's different ways you can go about it. I would generally say it's always good to speak with your realtor, because the chances are they've got some good relationships with reputable inspectors. I always say to buyers that we're working with, you can jump on Google and just kind of see who's out there, but you do slightly run the risk, as with any profession. There's the good ones, and then the mediocre ones, and then the terrible ones. So on occasions, I've seen people who have just Googled, found someone that they thought was okay, and then it turned out to not be as good of an inspection report. So my recommendation would be to lean heavily on your agent or friends and family that are already fairly experienced in it, and use other people's experiences opposed to just straight Googling.
Yeah, absolutely. Because homes in Florida are a little different, as in any market. There's special things to look for. There's certain ways properties are built. So if you have somebody who's doing your home inspection who's knowledgeable of the area, they're knowledgeable about the style of properties, it really just helps make the process a lot smoother and makes you feel more confident going through and knowing what you're getting into with this house. We've seen it go good and bad both ways, either an inspector who scares a buyer where they're just totally normal things that we find in a Florida home, or, where they miss really big issues that can cost you thousands in the future. So it's one of the best investments that you can make as you're buying a property, is a great home inspection.
And I think to that point as well, people, when they're getting a home inspection report, there needs to be a level of understanding that the majority of the time you're not buying a brand new house. You're buying something that has been there for a period of time. It could be 100 years, it could be 20 years.
Right.
But regardless, there's no such thing as a spotless home inspection report where there's no issues. So you just have to be cognizant and aware that there are going to be issues.
Right.
It's then having the level of understanding and speaking with the right people to know if it's something that you need to cancel a deal over, or if it's something that's just part of the course and it's very manageable.
Right.
I always like to think that that's an important thing to have as an expectation as well.
Absolutely.
So another question for you, Taylor, is specifically with a VA loan, what is the inspection requirements for that?
So with a VA loan, you're obviously going to have to get your 4-point. The other thing that the VA requires is you to get a WDO, that wood destroying organism inspection. If there are termites found, whether they be active or an old infestation, there has to be recent proof of treatment. And the property, if it's active, has to be treated prior to closing. So when you're getting into VA, you need to know that sometimes in the summer months, it can be the termite folks can get pretty backed up. So it's something that you need to get done right up front. We need to figure out a game plan if there is an infestation of how to take care of it, how to get it done in time. And those are things that we do to help our VA buyers get their offers accepted, because sometimes people are afraid of VA because of these extra little things. But knowing what you're getting into and knowing how to get through that process is very important.
I think it's also worth noting that regardless of VA, with the WDO inspection that looks at termites and that sort of thing, for anyone moving here from out of state, often you hear the word termites.
Scary.
You freak out. You don't know what exactly that entails. I think there needs to be a level of understanding that the majority of homes in this area will either have termites, have had termites, or will have termites. It's just part of the course, again, of living in and around Florida. So it's using the WDO report to understand the severity of it.
Absolutely.
Because there could be a very minor infestation of it. It's pretty simple to fix. It's not the end of the world, but sometimes people get a little bit scared of the word termite and then think the house is going to fall down, where it's just not the case.
And at the same time, you can have some pretty bad infestations, and there's different types of termites, and they can cause some pretty bad structural damage. So that's why it is so important to do these things, because it's in the attic, it's under the house, it's the areas that you don't see when you generally walk through a property, that these inspectors are trained to go in to actually find these things and look for these issues to help save you a headache in the future. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. We'd be happy to answer any of your questions that you have.
Don't forget to subscribe and like the video for more videos real estate and St. Pete related in general, and we'll see you next time.